Hello. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Fable. Pleased to meet you. Today, I would like to show you how to make a Hanukkah banner.
For this activity, you will need yellow, orange, and white paper, color markers, pencils or crayons, ribbon, tacky glue, pencil, scissors, and optional half paper plate as the menorah. You can use a yellow piece of paper for the menorah, as I'm going to do here, instead of a paper plate. So if you were using a paper plate, you would grab it now, but I'm going to use my yellow paper here and fold it in half and then cut the bottom off into a half bowl shape. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for a second. What I'm going to do now is start making my candlesticks. So what I'm going to do is fold this sheet in half, so I need enough space to have 8 candlesticks. So I'm fold this in half, but I'm going to cut this extra piece off here. And now I'm going to cut out 4, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to fold it right now just to show you guys. So I'm going to fold it once here, and then fold it again one more time. So once on this side here, fold it in half, press it down, and then flip it over and fold that other half in too. And if I unfold this all, this would be 8 sticks. But I'm going to go ahead and cut them. So first I'm going to cut this in half. I'm basically cutting the folded parts here. And then keeping those 2 layers together, I'm going to cut through. Be careful with your fingers when you're using scissors. And now you see 4 right now, but if I unfold them, put them on top of each other, then I'm going to cut down the middle of that folded mark there. And now I have 8 strips of paper that are to be my candlesticks. And just to show you how they're going to be, I'm just going to show you by pulling them apart and placing them over the menorah. If they look a little tight, you can go ahead and pile them up and trim them on both sides to make them even. That's what I'm going to be doing here, just cutting a tiny bit more, just to make sure there's a tiny bit of space in between each of the candles. So now that I'm happy with the size of these candlesticks, I'm going to go ahead and color them quickly before I start gluing them on to the menorah. You don't have to do this, but I'm choosing to color mine blue. You can use a color pencil or a crayon or a marker, as the blue is a significant color with Hanukkah, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to my candles. Need it somewhere in the menorah. And you'll notice here that I'm leaving the bottom part white because that part will be hidden with the menorah, and we will be adding glue to that part. Now to make the flames for the candle, I will go ahead and use a yellow piece of paper. You just need a small part of it to make several flames. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this strip of sheet, maybe about less than an inch, just less than an inch of construction paper. Leave enough space though on the bottom so that you can glue it onto the candle later, and cut that strip off. And you can draw the flame for each of the flames that you're making. I'm going to do this freehand though, so you're going to basically cut like a long oval but a narrow top part to make the flame, and make it nice and wide, because later we're going to add a little orange piece to the center to make the inner flame part. And if you notice here, I unfold it and cut off the bottom part. So I folded this up to make sure I get 2 flames out of this one cut, and then just separate it by cutting it apart. And just keep in mind you need 8 flames for 8 of these candles. Okay, now that I have 8 flames here, I'm going to go ahead and cut just a narrow piece of orange paper. I have some crepe paper left over from Halloween, so I'm going to use that, but you can use orange construction paper, or you can simply color in orange with a marker into the yellow paper. But since I have some of this left over, I'm going to go ahead and use it. So it's basically just like a very narrow triangle, and that's going to go in the inner part of the flame. If it's a little long, it's okay. What you can do is actually glue it on, but then flip it over into the other side of the flame. I'll show you in a moment. So I'm just adding some glue onto the yellow flame, the bottom part, and placing a piece of the orange piece of paper, but as you notice it's sticking out, so I'm going to go ahead and push it under. And add a little glue on the top of the candle, which is now colored blue, and place the flame on top of it. So we're just adding it close to the edge, just like a couple millimeters, very tiny amount overlapping. So that's one done, and now I'm going to do the next one. So now I'm going to do again the flame, add some glue on the lower part, and then place my orange piece of paper, and because I already have glue on the back, I'm going to go ahead and place it the flame on top of the candlestick again. And you're going to do the same step again for the rest of the candles. Now go ahead and grab your menorah and make sure it is upside down. So you probably want the folded part facing you, and then add some glue on the top part of the menorah, all on the top, because then you're going to place the candles upside down over it, so that once it is dry, the other side will be facing you with the candles and the flames. You can practice positioning them before you add the glue, but I already practiced before, so I'm okay. So we start from the center first, just to make sure they're spaced out evenly. And then, so one on both sides of that folded mark there. And then continue on the left side and right side. Make sure to leave a tiny bit of space in between. Okay, now that I have my last candle on, I can start working on the ribbon that I will be using to hang the menorah. So for this, I'm going to actually get a piece of ribbon, which is about 18 inches. It could be about between 1 to 2 feet, basically like 1.5 feet. And I'm going to need some tacky glue. I'm also going to need some pieces of construction paper to hold the ribbon to the construction paper menorah. And I'm going to be using these two yellow pieces of paper, but I'm going to add my little drops of glue on both sides of the menorah's corners here. You can see them right here, these little drops. And then add the ends of my ribbon to it, and then place the pieces of yellow paper over it. So I'm placing one piece on this side, basically sandwiching the ribbon in place. Make sure it's just not seen on the other side of the menorah. And now getting the other end, making sure it's not all twisted up afterwards. Again, place the ribbon over the glue, and then place on top the little yellow square, and hold it down in place for a few seconds, and then let it dry so that it will stick on. So probably leave it for about 5 to 10 minutes. Make sure it stays in place. Okay, now it is dry, so I'm just turning it over and seeing how it's going to hang, and yes, it looks good. And now you can write a message on the menorah if you like before hanging it up somewhere. So I just put Happy Hanukkah, and that is how you make a Hanukkah banner.
I hope that you have enjoyed this activity and have a bright and festive 8 days of Hanukkah. To learn more about festivities, please check out our resources or materials available through our library's website and express pickup. Check out our description box down below for more details. Bye.